and you're watching Lily TV, the amazing place where you too can find the tools to build a great business. And today you're in for such a treat because we are with the one and only Moni Rodriguez. Thank you so much for coming on my show, Moni.
Thank you so much for inviting me. I'm so glad to be here in this beautiful setting, in this beautiful presence of yours. So thank you.
Now, the reason I'm so excited about Moni is because she is a leadership mentor for women. And she is so excited to empower women to find their vision, to find their power, and to become leaders, and to inspire as many women as possible to fulfill their full potential. Now, Moni is also an co-author of several books, and she has her own workshops helping women to step into their power. Now, Moni, again, thank you so much for coming on our show. And can you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Yes, so what I do mostly, as you mentioned, I help women to ignite their inner power so they can live with more peace, passion, and joy. And I'm all about joy because I spent my life, 17 years of my life in corporate, and I reached a point in my career, especially in London, where I burned out. And I was really stressed, and I felt that my life was going into a cycle of living in autopilot, not very aware of what I was doing, where I was heading, and I needed to take some time to really go back to myself and reconnect to who I truly was in essence. And I went through a lot of pain, basically because I was working as a consultant in that time. I still do consulting, but on my own, business, and I do the coaching. But what I found is there is a very different way to do things. You don't need to push. You don't need to be reaching that point of burnout. You can be in alignment, and that's what I bring women into their true self, but also bringing into alignment and working from a place of flow, not resistance. And don't get me wrong, there will be stressful situations in your life. It's not that stress disappears because you disappear in a mountain and nothing happens. I think the key is to live in London, which is a beautiful city, or any other city, and be able to find stillness within and that power and joy within. And then from that place, you project a different energy, and that is receiving a very beautiful energy back. And if you are in business or you are in corporate as well, what that brings you is a sense of that you are in control without pushing, but also it brings you back a lot of abundance in your life. And I think the inner peace you achieve is the biggest abundance that you can get. So I'm very passionate because I think that's working from a place of freedom and knowing where your boundaries are, and then you have more time for yourself, your relationship with others improve. And that's why I've been passionate to get involved in women's organizations as well, because I think we got wrong the feminism. I think women should go back to what a woman means, what womanhood is as well, and that's collaboration, like we are doing here, talking, sharing, allowing to be seen. And yes, that's where I was in a place of not believing in myself, stressed out, burnout, not happy with my work. And then obviously I took the tools, I applied with myself, I started to work with women, and now I'm doing this in the world to help other women to be in that place. So yeah.
It's very exciting. Now,
Yeah.
what I'm really getting from what you're saying is that people need to really be more passionate, and they need to have more joy in their life, and they need to be kind of like leaving stress behind. And that is something that is very difficult for us business women, or for you who are working in corporate, because once you start doing certain things, you kind of like, at some point it can happen to you maybe that you go to work, let's say, and you work 9 to 5 or 8 to 6 or whatever it is. And then you keep going and you do the same thing. You get into routine. And then the thing is, you don't even realize it, but you start to live the kind of life that you don't want to live. You start to be trapped in a routine that you hate, really. And the thing is that Moni, what she's trying to say is that you can use certain tools in order to really enjoy what you're doing and to kind of like bring out that passion that you have and that gift that you have, and to use it at work so that you can be more productive. And now what I'm really interested to know is, how exactly are you enabling women to kind of like bring passion to their life, to bring joy to their life, so they can be more productive, so they can have more energy, so they can be more resourceful, so they can become more creative, so they can really fulfill their full potential? Because the thing is, what we really want as business women is we want to be productive, right? I don't know if you agree, but we want to get the most of it, you know, because we feel many times that we have limited time in our lives and we want to be productive. So how exactly do you do that?
Well, there are many tools and techniques you can use, but I will tell you, or I will talk about 3 things that basically are part of my life, but also I know are helping other women. And also what I always say is, first of all, before I go into the tools, you need to know who you truly are and you need to know yourself. Now, what happens mostly is that we are affected by our environment. There is a sense that we are doing things, but at some point we don't even know why we are doing it. So how you go back into knowing yourself and being in a state of presence so you can be aligned and really understand what you truly want, because sometimes we are doing something but it doesn't match the reality of what we truly desire. But we are so busy running that we don't really sit and connect with that. So the first thing is connecting with who you truly are, and how you do that for me is, it would be ideal we have an hour a day meditating with the mind in blank, but it's not feasible because business owners are thinking about how can I bring more profit in my business. However, if you do it from the wrong place, like out of alignment, running and chasing like a headless chicken, it doesn't really work. But if you take 10 minutes a day, either when you wake up in the morning to reflect, and I say sit in silence. I mean, I am lucky that I live on my own, but even if I have people around, it's good to just step away from everything that you are doing. And I love writing, so I journal, but you can do it just by sitting in silence, not even needing to close your eyes, but asking yourself, a simple question, or even keeping your mind in blank. But I think the most important thing is 10 minutes a day for yourself to connect in silence with what truly I want and desire for my life, regardless of what other people in my environment is saying. And sometimes it can start with a small voice in your heart or in your soul saying, well, this work doesn't feel good because it's not flowing. Why is that, and what do I truly want? So sitting in silence every day, ideally in the morning. If you are in a busy schedule, before going to bed, reflect 10 minutes for yourself. If you can write down what do I truly want every day, and let that inspiration come. And if nothing comes, it's just being in silence with yourself and being honest with yourself, because I feel like we don't want to be in silence because sometimes we know that there is something we don't want to hear. So listening to yourself on those 10 minutes or 15 minutes can be very powerful. So number 1 is silence, time with yourself, reconnecting with yourself in any way. If you want to write. If you want to just be in silence, but I think reflecting is very important. Number 2, it's about grounding our energy. We spend all day with computers, with mobile phones, and this really affects our magnetic field, our energy. And I do it very simply. I just have the luck to have nature or a park near me, so I go for a walk. Or even you can buy a grounding mat and put it in your desk when you are working. You put it down and you put your feet, or you go and sleep with a grounding mat, and that can help you a lot to ground your energy, to kind of align. And it's very good to release stress, because sometimes we have been surrounded by other people, by other energy. We are out of our body, really. So that helps you to ground, to go to nature as well. It connects you with with your humanity, because I think we are so disconnected from ourselves that then we disconnect from others. So number 2 is grounding, either nature, walking in nature, or by a grounding mat, and that will help you really to align. So it's all about bringing back alignment. And number 3, I love it, especially for women, because I feel we are so disconnected again from our bodies. I know for me, one of the things that brought me a lot of stress is that I was constantly running, and I was not giving time for just relaxing. And a very good way to relax is just giving yourself a massage into your body. If you have a partner or someone who can give a massage, if not, go to a salon once a month or whatever you want and give yourself a treat. But it's very important to reconnect with our sensuality, our body, and feel the body, because I think we neglect our body a lot, and that means respecting the body with nice foods as well. So it's all about body connection through massage to doing things that really respect your body. So yeah, those are my key things that start like building up into bringing alignment, and then the energy projecting is so different because you feel more relaxed, you feel that because you're connecting your body, you admire yourself. I think we have a lot of judgment, especially women, on what we can do and not do, and we tend to go a lot on the mind and not so much into the heart and heart-centered leadership, which is all about going back into this beautiful energy of it's enough, you are enough. It's very helpful. So yeah, I hope that answers the question. There are so many things that we can do based on our preferences, but it's all about connecting, silence, and really bringing that sense of knowing who you are, really. Yeah.
Okay, very good. So, but the question is now, why do women and why do people in general, why do they need leadership? And how have you worked with women in order to become leaders? What can women do to become leaders, really?
Well, I think we tend to kind of identify this word of leader mostly on people that are external to our environment, like politicians or our boss or anyone else that is doing some sort of management or making decisions in someone's life. However, I believe we are all leaders. It starts by you, and that translates to you in your family, to you in how you deal with your problems every day. So for me, a leader is someone who is impacting their life, that they take responsibility, that they know who they are, therefore they make decisions, they act in a way that is impacting others indirectly by their own change. So for instance, the way I transformed my life or I became a leader is because I took responsibility. I stopped blaming the company as the cause of my stress, and I became the owner of my stress, because I was creating that stress, because clearly other people in my same position, they didn't have this stress. So I think we are all mirrors, and we all project and receive from the universe or from life wherever we are projecting. So we need to be honest with ourselves. If what we are getting, the results we are getting are not matching what we want, is that we are out of alignment, out of integrity, and we are always evolving. And a leader, I think, is someone who believes that they are always learning, growing, and therefore they impact with their growth other people. So what happened to me is, with the changes I made, I was inspiring other people, other women, to believe in themselves. Because if I was in a corporate environment as a consultant, now I'm doing conferences, I'm writing books, I'm helping other people to become more authentic, then it means that it's possible for anyone. But I just decided to take responsibility of what was stopping me. And don't get me wrong, I don't have a perfect life. Sometimes I have fear still, and I go down into my energy, but I have the awareness. I don't project that fear into other people consciously, creating a drama in my environment. I take responsibility, and then that's how you change the environment, by shifting your reality inside. Then your family has more harmony, you are more happy, therefore everything projects outside. So I think we need to step into the power we have as humans, that we are all leaders, because every single change or shift you do in your life, you might underestimate the power it has. Because you can go for your grocery shopping, and the way you will interact with that person will be so different if you are happy, joyful, with a constant state of passion for your life, that's contagious. And that's my passion, because I feel like I want to create a joy revolution where everyone is happy, alive in their life. And that is completely, there won't be wars, there won't be any drama in our workspaces. We will be collaborating and doing things. So imagine if everyone believes that they are leaders. And I think women tend to underestimate their power and their value very much on how much we can achieve, you know. So that's why I love men, but I serve women because I was in that place myself. And I think women and men, we work slightly differently in how we deal with things in life. So yeah.
And being a leader is something I can totally relate with. And how would you say that someone can start becoming a leader?
Well, I think one thing that I love to always use is the two kinds of people I perceive in life. And don't get me wrong, I think we play those roles. We interchange those roles depending on the situation in our life, but we want to stay mostly in the hero mentality. So I think when something comes up in your life, you can take your power and believe that you are the hero and that you will overcome the battle or the struggle that you are dealing with, wherever the situation is, or the victim mentality, which by definition is as an energy that shrinks, you know. So it's all about playing with energy and realizing that we can always be that person that can overcome a challenge, you know. And by that you become already a leader, you know, by believing. It's all about believing that you can overcome, that you can become whatever you become. So for instance, 5 years ago I couldn't imagine to be speaking in front of 200 people and being comfortable with it and enjoying I think you relate, right?
Yes.
Because I had a conversation very recently with a co-worker, and someone remembered me like freaking out on a conference at work, not able to speak because I really was fearing that people would judge me. And I mean, you cannot go in front of people and speaking with confidence if inside you feel like you are judging yourself. So it's not about the judgment of others. We fear judgment of others. We fear that people will undervalue ourselves. But the thing is that we are doing that to ourselves. So by becoming aware and conscious, that's being a leader. I'm conscious of my actions. I'm conscious of my words. So it's bringing awareness all the time in how I feel and why I feel like that. And you know, I have situations where I want to go to the next level on my career and I face fear again. So I realize that fear will always be there. And I experience pain I'm quite spiritual, and I'm in my spiritual path, evolving as a human being. And sometimes some fear comes up because you need to make changes, and change is not easy sometimes. I mean, change is the only constant thing, but it's not comfortable because you do things that you never did before. And it's like, wow, now I'm with resistance again, and that's very painful. But I think once you become that hero that is able to push forward to that resistance, then a hero is a leader, and we are all having the opportunity to become heroes and change makers in this life. So I don't believe we are here to be victims anymore, and that's why I see many women speaking up their truth now. Because they had enough of this victimism. They want to be the leaders of their life. Yeah.
Yes. I can totally relate with that, because for many years, I can tell you maybe for 5 years, I have struggled with speaking. I mean, things were so bad that I can tell you, even in a room of thousands of people, or if it was even a room of 5 people, you know, I was so bad that even I couldn't even say a single word. I was so terrified of speaking. But then what happened, I just decided to make a difference. I decided to simply become an international speaker, you know, out of the blue. I just decided. And then it kind of like happened, you know, it happened within 11 months. And now, you know, we have created the Speakers are Leaders workshop, which is now, you know, become international. And it has enabled me to already speak on stages of over 1,000 people. And, you know, again, this is not something I ever considered in the same way, you know, women that you want to inspire, they, you know, they may never consider, maybe you that you're watching, you know, you may never consider that you could do something that's really out of your reach right now. But the fact is, if you simply decide to do it, there's a really enormous power in deciding, but not just any kind of decision, but a powerful decision. You know, the kind of decision that you just know it. You know it's going to happen. Like I can tell you right now, I know I'm going to be in Forbes magazine. I just don't know how I'm going to do it. And, I have several other dreams and so on. But the fact is that I don't know how I'm going to do it. But I just know I'm going to do it. And, it's going to happen to me because I have powerfully decided to do it. And from that moment when I decided to be an international speaker, even speaking to you right now, I'm speaking just to the camera, right? But I can tell you that if you had told me years ago, just speak, I can tell you that I have tried before, and I would have had to do maybe like 50 tries or 100 tries, and it would still be really, really bad. And I would still be terrified, thinking, oh my God, that was horrible. That was horrible. I cannot watch myself. And I can tell you, even to this day, sometimes, I look at myself and I'm thinking, oh my God, that was horrible. And, I can't help it because I really want things to be perfect. And, I think many women that, that you're trying to help maybe are the same women that, are not putting their content out there because they're thinking, it has to be perfect.
No, we are perfect as we are, but you are right. And I can relate so much. 1 year ago, I was recording videos for my online program, my coaching program. And I think I took like 30 takes and I was like, it's not coming. And guess what? I was so much in here, but I was judging myself. You know how I believe everything works? Again, it's the projection. So if I don't approve myself, if I don't love myself deep in the core, last year I started to feel deep unconditional love for myself. And don't get me wrong, I have moments where I say, oh my God, my ego triggers, but that's why I say it's very important for women to connect with their body and to appreciate what they have, because knowing your talents as well helps you a lot. But you can do a lot of training courses. Oh my God, I invested so much money in courses, everything you want, and you can keep chasing the shiny object syndrome. Is very common in us because we feel we need another training or we need another mentor, and mentors are amazing. I have coaches, I have mentors, I have trainers, I invest in training, but that won't bring you where you want to be. Believe and really believe in yourself and overcome the judgment you have for yourself will bring you anywhere. Because I also last year I was like, I can totally relate, and I didn't like myself in camera, and I say, you know what, the message or the impact is more important. The people I want to help is more important than me. So get over you and think about, they say service is joy. This is Rabindranath Tagore, he said, right? And I feel like once we tap into serving and helping someone and not so much thinking about ourselves, which is what human beings do most of the time. The ego triggers, and then you are thinking about yourself and your drama, and look at this t-shirt, this looks like, no, serving and loving who you are, and everything changes. I can tell by experience, and I relate to you so much because I'm so amazed about your story as well. Like, she's speaking in 2,000 people audiences. The day I do this, I think I will be just like again in fear, but I will overcome that for sure.
Yeah.
No choice.
And that's the thing that amazes me the most. Like how, like you may have a dream. You may have a dream that now seems really like so far away and so impossible that you can't even like believe that it could possibly happen. But then the one thing that you really need is I would say 3 things. The first one is deciding, and then the second one is take a small step to do it, and then the third one is just take a bigger step, take more action in that kind of direction, and stop criticizing yourself, because the fact is, for example, if you're trying to take a dance class or something, right? I really hate that moment. The first 6 classes when you have to do the same basic steps 6 times so you can get it, you can really properly get it, and then everything is much easier after that. I really hate looking at that and thinking, oh, you really suck. It's like horrible. I cannot watch myself doing that. It's horrendous. And but the thing is that, for example, right now, we're doing this interview. Now, it's not going to be perfect, but we just have to accept that we have to go through this stage in order to get to perfection, and in order to get to kind of like much better. And the fact is that if for example, you may have a dream. Maybe it's writing a book. Maybe it's speaking in public. Maybe it's speaking about your product. Maybe it's becoming a leader. Maybe it's kind of like living the life that you want. And maybe having more happiness in your life, or maybe having more passion and more excitement, or feeling like you truly live. But the thing is that if you think about, oh, but it's not perfect, but oh, look at me, I didn't do that enough, and the critical spirit in you just kind of really kills whatever big attempt you have of really achieving your dreams. And I think it's really important to just accept, like I'm a perfectionist, and I am a perfectionist. So it has taken me a long time to come out of my shell because I am a perfectionist. And just think about, I just have to go through, these steps to kind of like, initially it's gonna suck, it's gonna be terrible, and that's okay, you just have to do it. And and the more steps you do, the more you kind of get to where you want to be. In the same way, like if you have a stressed life, right? What would you say? I mean,
yeah, it's true.
How would you start with, if you're very stressed and you want to have that, the life that you want, but you simply don't know where to start. Where would you start?
I know, because stress is much more present than we think in our life. You don't need to be in an office traveling like crazy like I was to reach out an anxiety state of mine, but I think it's about, first of all, awareness, because if you are stressed and you don't know that you are stressed, then but I think watching your physical symptoms, how you react to things. Are you reacting very quickly? Are you speaking to people? Because normally in stress, like, everything goes into fast motion, everything is urgent, everything is like a cloud. So awareness is the first thing. Okay, I have I don't like to use the word problem. I have a challenge, and clearly if I was in flow, if I was in alignment, I wouldn't feel stressed. So if I feel stressed, I have a problem, a challenge here. There is some resistance, when there is something in the body that is not aligned, you don't have flow, there is resistance. So the awareness is the first key. But then it's like, okay, do I want to come out of this? Obviously the answer might be yes, but I have to say that some people is codependent to things. So for instance, an example would be that even if I was aware that I was taking 5 coffees a day and I was in a codependent state of mind with coffee, kind of feeding, because that's the thing, once you have a pattern, you go and feed into that pattern, and codependency, that coffee will keep you awake, but the coffee is giving you adrenal fatigue and you're still stressed. So do I want to change, yes or no? So no one can, I always say something, we can love people, but we cannot save anyone. So you need to save yourself. So again, it's that becoming the hero. So do I want to come out of this? Yes. If I'm not ready, then you keep going back to the question, because when the pain is too strong, I assure you become the hero. So pain drives you. Either we run to pleasure or we run away from pain. So either you want to feel better or you want to run away from this situation, right? So awareness, and then small steps again. So you might have a word that you cannot just give away and go crazy and go to Bahamas tomorrow, it's not reasonable. But if you think, oh my God, I would love to have a flip-flop lifestyle, I want to go to Hawaii or something, that's my goal. That will bring me alignment, right? So how do I get there? Some people, what I get with clients a lot is they have this situation and they see the flip-flop lifestyle there, I cannot reach it. But actually, you don't need to do like this movement from here to here. You can just small steps. So you want to go to the beach, you want to change this kind of stressful situation. also support your body, because stress in this case, is mostly something that we mismanage because of the way we deal with the emotional, with the reactions we have from the external environment. But you can also set boundaries and say no. I'm not gonna check my email 10 times a day. No, I will set that's a strategies, practical strategies that I started to implement. So I started to say no. I'm not saying I was unprofessional, but I started to set boundaries with people. I check emails at 10 o'clock and 5 o'clock. So what? I let everybody know, if it's urgent, call me. You have the power to say no. I'm not going to do overtime. I can do overtime 1 day, 2 days, but I'm not an overtime person, because that creates a habit. And I felt that I was not doing enough. That's again the perfectionist. I'm not doing enough, but that's because you want to prove yourself. So setting boundaries, awareness, setting boundaries, start implementing small things. I don't check emails. I have the power to set boundaries, and then look for what you truly want. So if I don't want this busy schedule, how can I attain it? And open your mind to possibilities, because one thing about attracting what you want is believing that it's there. Because I get many clients like, oh, but that's not possible for me. It's like, well, is that possible for that person? Yes, so then it means it's possible, because it already exists. And if it exists in your mind, then it's possible for you. So it's tangible things to do every day, like setting boundaries, and then find with your open mind possibilities. But you need to know what you want. So one thing is, like, once you are in this state of awareness, that's why it's so important to have these 10 minutes a day. Because then you can ask yourself honestly, if money was not object, what would I do? And we are not aiming for perfection and the perfect lifestyle we look for. Most of the time it's more achievable than what we think, and sometimes it's compromising. What are you going to give away? Because most of the time it's excuses about yourself, it's beliefs about yourself, and sometimes it's toxic environment as well. Because if you are surrounded by a toxic environment in your corporation, it's very difficult. Environment conditions a lot of our decisions. So basically, awareness and setting boundaries will set you on fire to be taking small steps to your success, I believe. I mean, it's so feasible to do the things you want once you believe you can.
The other question I had was, one thing that really bothers business women and corporate women, I guess, alike, is, especially if you have children, is time and lack of it. And maybe you even don't have the time to even watch this video until the end, because you simply don't have the time. I mean, there's so much information, there's so much to do, laundry, whatever, your husband to take care of. And so, women's work kind of like never tends to finish, I guess, unless you kind of structured your life in a way that it does. Mm-hmm. Now, we're not necessarily talking to people who have, because I guess they have no interest in watching us. But for those women who simply don't have the time to kind of like become leaders or go to the gym or become de-stressed or anything at all, they have no time whatsoever to do anything. What would you advise them? How can they get some time so they can become leaders and be joyful and be excited and do pretty much everything they want, so they can feel free and get everything they want?
Well, by deciding to make the change for improving their life, they are becoming a leader already. Number one, because you're taking responsibility. So once you have your life sorted out, then you can think about leading other people. Obviously, if you are in a big corporation and you are leading people, that's a different story. But the better you handle your life, the better manager or leader you will be. But let's go to that woman who is a mother of 5 and a wife, and she's a superwoman because she has a business to run as well. It does come down to priorities, I think, and what's important for me is what takes the most energy of you and how does it make you feel. Because if the laundry doesn't make you feel excited and passionate, well, maybe you want to delegate this. Nowadays, I mean, depending on which city you live in, but actually you can simplify your life. One thing that I'm very passionate now to explore more and more is the concept of minimalism. And I mean, again, we are not aiming for perfection. I know a woman who just cracked the code for the minimalism, and she has all her waste in a small jar. but I think that's very, very to admire. But I think simplifying, because sometimes we have so many clothes to wash, because we have so many clothes that we don't use, and I think it's more thinking about, do I want experiences or do I want stuff? If you get rid of stuff that you really don't need and doesn't bring you joy, like Marie Kondo says, then you have more time because you don't need to clean so much. So surprise, surprise, becoming minimalist is very important, just for giving space in your mind to do other things. But it's a choice. So it's a conscious choice that you make to consume lesser, to simplify your life by applying different concepts of minimalism. But also it comes down to, again, boundaries and saying no and delegating. Because again, you can be a hero, you can be a superwoman, but you don't need to do it all by yourself. You have a partner, you have kids, you have support system, and if you don't have it, you might want to delegate or find a support system. And it depends on the lifestyle, again, you want, you know. I think the more people you need to take care of, I think it's very challenging for women who had children. But what I found for one client of mine, she felt she was just not having time for herself. But what she started to do is, well, she really enjoyed dancing when she was young. So she decided that she was gonna dance every week. And so she signed up for a class that she thought she wouldn't have time for. Surprise, now she has time because she decides to do something she enjoys. She spoke with her husband and they kind of managed that at that time she was having me time. So maybe at the beginning it's incremental. So I think everyone has 10 minutes a day. It's priorities and delegation, and also communicating your needs to the people in your environment. Because if your children see you stressed out shouting, that impacts your children as well. So the house becomes a mess, so no one is happy. But if you are joyful, happy, passionate, feeling sensors, all the house is dancing in joy. And that's why, is it more important to have someone, maybe pay someone to do the laundry or to clean the house, or even get rid of all the unnecessary stuff? So I think it's a choice, but it's feasible. I think that I don't have a time is an excuse again, because we have the time for what we want, and sometimes we get so many distractions. Again, maybe watch where your time is going. So tracking is very important. Where is your time going? Because I know I spend a lot of time on social media because I have my business, but you can implement systems, which is what I'm implementing now, to be back in control. Structure, systems, delegation, and building a team around you. So even if you're not a leader in a company, you can build a team in your household to help you, educate your kids to help you with the household. So it's taking your power and not believing that you need to do everything and that you don't have to. It's a belief. I have time, I will have time. If I don't have time, in my mind, I won't have time. Does it make sense? Because
yes,
I mean, I know but we don't look for, shifting things in one day, because years or 5 years, so it's all about progress in life.
I totally agree. And in fact, I remember from the time when I was working 55 hours a week in my one of my previous jobs when I was like 5 years ago, I remember that I had time to do 3 times a week gym, and 3 times a week salsa, and 1 time a week jive, and shopping, and literally everything. And I had time for all this. Why? Because I planned everything. So I planned everything in my diary before my week even started. Yeah. And this is a really good way that you could maybe start planning the fun things you have, the really fun things that excite you in your life. Because the thing is, when you're at work and you have nothing really exciting to look forward to, what happens? You may underperform simply because you're thinking, I'm just going to go home and watch Netflix, or I'm just going to be so bored, so you're not driven by anything. Whereas when you have something really exciting to look forward to, like a holiday, or if you have something really exciting to do every single day, and that's what I used to do, right? So to have I would plan something really fun to do, whether it was gym or salsa or jive or whatever, every single day. So that would keep me motivated, not only to perform at work, so I could finish in time, so I could then do whatever I planned to do, and that would keep my my excitement high throughout the day, and I would be like so joyful, so excited, so vibrant. So this is why I so relate with you. I can talk to you for hours. I really can. And I think it's your energy. You have really good energy, and that's exactly...
That's what people say. I live when I preach, but I'm not like this all the time. I need to be aware of. It's about going back to your. I mean, I always say, the joy is in my heart. I always feel joy, but sometimes I feel pain of resisting things that I need to do. My body reacts in. I'm very sensitive to energy, but it's bringing the awareness. I'm not projecting. I mean, I'm very vulnerable, so people can see me cry, they can see me dance, they can see me, I sing to my family, but I'm honest, I'm authentic, and I think it's about being authentic with who you are and honest, but also being aware that you can change the state of energy all the time, you know. But obviously, if you are doing things that you don't feel passionate about, it's very difficult because you feel like life is passing by and you are not enjoying. So maybe starting in the morning as well, like a nice routine. Something I've been very, very passionate to look at is my morning routines. I didn't master them yet, but I think going for a run, or I mean, it depends of the time you have, but 10 minutes, I always say 10 minutes, aim for 10 minutes of silence or writing and looking at yourself in the mirror and say, wow, look at this body, I'm sexy, I'm beautiful, and that's about acceptance. You know, I know I use always this analogy about being in a stage and feeling that you are naked, really, and people is staring at you, and the moment you feel that you are not uncomfortable by that is when you really, truly feel yourself in a place of authenticity where there is no judgment, because we tend to judge ourselves, and that brings energy down as well. So if we judge ourselves when you want to go for dancing, but you are judging yourself, you feel like, oh, I won't go because I'm not good at dancing, or I won't do this because I'm sure it won't work. Just start with one class and then build up on that. You know, we're talking about the videos, but everything in life is done by one step at a time. So I think if you are aiming for running and you fail to do 1 or 3 times run a week, just do what you can, you know. It's better than nothing, but it needs to be something you enjoy, because then you will do it, you know. If you hate running, you won't go for running, but if you love dancing, you will go, and then you will meet amazing women or men and do amazing things, you know, with other people. Yeah.
So I mean, for me, I really think that joy is so important for you to perform in your business. And this is exactly why I have invited Moni to talk to you about tools to build your business. Because the fact is, if you're not happy, what good is it going to do to you if you have millions in your bank account?
No, yeah.
You have to be happy as well. I mean, you have to at least try to, you know, include some activities that you love in your, you know, in your daily activities, so that you can, you know, we only have one life. We don't have, it's not a dress rehearsal. So, you know, we really need to, like, you know, put that joy in our lives so that we can perform better, so we can have better productivity, better energy, and so that we can, you know, keep our partners happy as well, which is very important. Yes. So now I know that you're doing some workshops, and you have some things that you normally you know, help women with.
Yes.
Would you like to tell us about that?
Yes, on the 24th of June 2018, so this month already, we have a workshop that I'm putting together with other 2 amazing people. It's at the Regent's University. It's called The Science of Happiness and Finding Joy. So the tickets are in Eventbrite, or you can go to my Facebook profile in, so it's Facebook, and then it's /Moni Rodriguez SP. And also you can email me at info@monirodriguez.com if you want to come. The ticket is £77 for a whole day seminar, so it's a very, very good price, a very good deal, and you will learn practical tools based on neuroscience to recognize your emotions when they trigger, and also shift that emotion. Also identify anxiety and how you can shift that state of mind as well, and tools to cultivate. Even if you are very busy, you can do things to cultivate joy, because joy is a state of being. It doesn't depend on an external factor. It's something that you radiate, doesn't matter where you are or what's happening in your world. So it's a very nice state to be. And sometimes, as I say, you might have a bad day, you feel unwell, but the joy never disappears. It comes back very quickly. And that's a very nice way to build your business upon, because then you trust yourself, you know that the business will run, so you attract more abundance as well by trusting and being aligned in yourself. But that's the workshop we have, and I also offer 30 minutes coaching session. I call it intuitive coaching session to align to joy, because I'm also very into psychic studies and also doing this kind of work to complement. So I like to mix science and spirituality, bringing them together with the NLP tools that I have, the wellness coaching I have, but also looking at the person holistically. So that's what I do with women, where we see where you are out of alignment, where is the next step, because most of the women that come to me are blocked. They don't see forward. They have a dream, they have a block in their heart or in their body, and we do the best to bring these two together. And by the end of the session, you have clarity, you have focus, you know where you're going. And I'm offering this 30-minute consultation for 3 people that contact me in info@monirodriguez.com as well, obviously complimentary. And I cannot wait to look into my inbox and work with you anytime you contact me. Thank you.
Yes, so I mean, I cannot stress enough how important joy is in your life in order to have, a more successful business, in order to have more productivity, in order to have more energy. Because, there are so many depressed people. And I mean, literally, if you think about yourself, when you're feeling a little bit depressed, when you're feeling a little bit down, how productive are you? Really? Tell me, how productive are you? Not really productive, right?
Mm-hmm.
So what we want is for you to feel empowered to achieve more, for you to feel inspired, and for you to basically fulfill your full potential. And this is what Moni can help you with.
Definitely.
And she doesn't only teach it, she demonstrates it. You cannot, I'm not sure if you can feel her energy, but I certainly can. So this is why I have invited her, because I only invite special people to come on Lily TV. And now I need to share something that I have basically gained all this confidence to do my own show from Harry Sardinas with his Speakers Are Leaders workshop. And together we have founded this amazing workshop that empowers people to become more confident in terms of their public speaking. And now, as you can see, I'm practicing it and I'm feeling, more and more confident myself. And I have managed to share the stage with people like, Les Brown and Raymond Aaron. And I have managed to speak in front of thousands of people, and I'm going to speak in front of many more people in Peru and in London and so on this year. So it's really happening to me. If you're someone who is interested in becoming more confident and in public speaking or in building your business with public speaking, then go to speakersareleaders.com and book your ticket. And if you're interested in becoming more joyful, in basically enjoying your life more so you can be more productive, then you should definitely go to info@monirodriguez.com, write her an email, or simply book her ticket. And I can guarantee if she can teach you how to become more joyful, so how you can have more energy and more excitement in your life. And this is really important. And again, you're watching Lily TV, and we're here with Moni Rodriguez. And thank you so much for watching. And this is the best place where you too can find the tools to build a great business. Thank you.